There you are.
Good
Whoa.
evening,
Not
good
this one,
evening,
just in
good
time.
evening. We we're here.
Yes.
For a minute it was just the background, but we are here
We are here.
and happy
We
to be
are
back
here.
again as um and pleased to say we did not get blown away today.
No.
The wind was amazingly strong. Um,
Yes.
it felt like
New Orleans again.
New Orleans.
Hey.
I was thinking more like Chicago wind.
Oh wow! I can't
Yeah,
even hear him. Hold on. Why is my yay going on?
yeah. It's not. Oh, there it is.
There you go. One
Yes,
side of it's yaying. The other side's not yaying too loud. I don't know
yes.
why. Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, we're happy to be here. We have we're back in the studio again today. Last couple of weeks we were hidden away in a bat cave. I think that's what you called
Yes,
it.
I'm back cave. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, and so yeah, it's good to be back
Good to be back.
and
Better connection.
and he's got his toy again.
Yep, I
So-
do. I do. Got a better connection too.
Let's go.
That's right.
Let's go.
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
Yes, we're trying to go. So I think
Yes.
what I'm going to do, first of all,
Yes.
I am Sharon or Zare,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband is
I don't know who I am today.
okay. He is Craig or Imar.
I'm R. I'm R.
Yes, and we are taking the journey together. We are also coaches with Mind at Rest Couples Coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be doing some workshops and.
We got a new workshop. What's it called? We're going to be looking at doing.
I'm not going to say.
Okay, because you probably don't remember.
It's going to be a surprise.
Okay, I don't know why you want to say that, but that's all right. I don't think you remember. To be honest.
I don't remember.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. It's
That's why you got to go to the workshop, because you need to go
Yes.
to what they call is a boot camp, so you can remember or
Yes,
brought
yes,
to your
yes.
attention
See?
what it needs to be
yes.
in a relationship, because there's so many things that you do need to remember in a relationship. Many times we forget, and when we forget, it's called taking that relationship for what?
Granted.
Yep.
No, I do remember because I'm in the process even of putting together a newsletter that is going to go out to people about it, and so that's going to have it in it anyway.
Oh,
So
okay. You're gonna be about it then.
yes,
about
I'm
it,
about it. And so if anybody who is listening would like to have some information and like to get the Mind at Rest newsletter, just email us your information, and we will make sure we put you on our email list so that you will be able to get the information that we are of the events that we are having or hosting.
Exactly.
And one of the things that I want to start off with is our belief statement.
And what is our belief statement you want to start off with?
We are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother says, your father says, your children say, or even what Jesus says. We are going to relate. At Taking the Journey Together, we believe in relating in a balanced way.
A balanced way?
Yes, we get the idea that we can be friends, but we can't be lovers, or we can be lovers, but we can't be friends.
But we can't do
Therefore,
both at
I can
once.
marry my lover, but not my friend.
Okay.
That's not balanced. A
That's
balanced
not?
relationship, by a balanced relationship, we mean taking the friendship and sharing on one side, and the lover and sexual compatibility on the other side,
Say hello to Area Scott too. We're good to see her here.
and bringing them both together.
Good to see you. Got you a good crowd, yay, going out there, because she's back again. She said something again. She's leaving some hearts.
Yes.
Isn't that something? How's
Yes.
that?
Bust that groove.
Oh man, she's busting that groove on that one. I don't know. I'm gonna play with the toys today. Hey, just one of those things. I got them here, so we're going to do it. But anyway,
Okay.
go ahead. Hey, we've got to say something in the Hot 2100. They need to get a commercial on Hot 2100 so we
Yeah.
can play it during our showtime. Oh, they got one. Oh, wow.
So I guess we
So
will do
we'll be
that today.
playing it. It's about time, too. Wow.
Yes.
Good to hear that. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut your conversation off.
That's
playing
okay.
with
I
my
don't.
toy.
That's okay.
It is.
We're gonna just keep moving on. I kinda
DJ.
got lost in where I was.
Yo, DJ.
Oh, DJ. Who else do we have here? Mark. Say hello to Mark Abel. Is that Abel? Like she got so frustrated because she just could not keep that attention.
Abel, maybe.
It just hurt her because you keep that attention. You're leaning that side too, by the way. Can we lean together? Should we lean this way? Should we lean this way? Okay. Yes. Bobbleheads. Now we're straight.
Yes. Abel, maybe that's what that is.
Okay.
We'll just say Mark for now.
Mark. Yes.
Hey,
Okay.
Mark.
Hey. Hey, Mark. Hey.
Okay. So, what's our topic today?
Our topic was before, but it's something very special that I found out about that you should be knowing. Since to be honest with you, it's something that should be part of your very, very being and who you are. What do you think that should be?
I am woman.
I am woman. Hear you what?
Roar.
Wow.
That was really, I don't know.
What did you not like about that? By the way,
It just always sounded stupid to me.
what did?
That whole thing, I am woman, hear me roar. That was just like,
Why'd you think it sounds stupid? By the way?
I don't know. It was just like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it
Mhm.
exactly, but I knew of a lot of really strong women,
Mm-hmm.
and not one of them roared. You know?
But
They may have been strong. They may have been forceful.
Mhm.
They may have asserted their authority.
Mm-hmm.
But the voice quality that they used, I would never consider it a roar.
Yeah, but I think it was, you know what it was. It just a paratrooper military concept that was put out there.
I think it was more.
What?
I don't know. I just don't really think it was geared to the community that I was living in.
Well, I don't understand that. What do you mean by that?
I just,
Hello, James.
it just didn't work for me.
James Holman, something like. I think we've seen him before, haven't we?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've got somebody else, Theodore, of
Yeah.
the show, giving different perspectives. I don't know who that is, but I remember before.
Okay.
And Mr. Michael Wallace. Hello, how you doing, Michael? Good to
Yeah.
see you here. I'm waiting for our guest. Who is our usual guest that we usually see? She did not even say anything. Now the opportunity for her to be here, and she's AOL. Who is that? Who's AOL?
Melanie.
Yes, she
Yes.
got so high-minded being with the station. We just saw her and the station manager and her mom and other favorite people like Jamal at where did we see him at, by the way?
At the third annual Gullah Geechee African Ball.
Beautiful ball, beautiful time, wasn't it? We
Yes,
should
it
have brought
was.
our camera. Well, we should have brought some pictures so they saw it too. But I mean, we saw her on the front of the big banner too that they have for Hot 2100.
She's like George Jefferson, moving on up.
She she is. God bless her heart too at the same time. But just remember, a rising tide raises all boats, and sometimes those ocean liners too, and of course the yachts.
Yes.
So anyway, we saw that there, walked in, and we said, "Wow, look at that!" And at the same time, I guess she just is thinking we are just too lowly to come back where she started from,
Yes.
being on the show. Come and think of it, we haven't even seen Dr. Frazier. And I know
Yes.
Dr. Frazier said something a couple of days ago. So he's Whip Van Winkle, who's up. So we always look forward to see him back again from that end. And yes, you could tell Dr. Frazier, if you're watching, we're doing better, much better too. Gained a little bit more weight. Trying to make sure we don't gain too much weight too at the same time. But anyway, hello, David Banner. How are you doing? Good to see you here, Mr. David. David Banner. I've seen him more than once, have we?
Oh yeah, he's been around for a minute.
Okay. So this is about giving women the props, and in turn, the first thing is I want to give my beautiful partner, give my beautiful friend, and my lover props. I'm going to say nothing negative. We can always find something negative to say about folks. And so much of that's going on, especially with the politics now. There's such a separation. It's not even funny. All we can say as senator, what's that senator who's an independent senator? The guy with the glasses. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
Yeah, come on. What is the senator with the glasses who's independent?
Bernie?
Bernie. Yeah, Bernie would say some people are in another parallel universe. He does like this, another parallel universe. Why we are in this particular universe. I guess he wanted to say they're not like us. They're not like us. And I mean, many of us know that we live in situations where just like that, where some people are in a parallel universe. We're in relationships many times where we feel like the other person is another universe. They don't understand us. They don't really talk to us well. They don't really connect to us well. And we feel like that in turn every day. We're coming home to someone else that we don't even know who they are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, today we're going to make that connection to the women in our life that have been very special to us and give them the kudos and give them the uplift and say at the same time that they have been that mate, that other half or more half, or hopefully in a balanced relationship, that what compliment is a compliment?
Mm-hmm.
Is a compliment?
It's a compliment.
Yes, which we were talking about before when our couple was here. I want you to take a look at a video we're going to do real quickly. I'm going to put it up beside, and we're going to play that, and we want you to listen to it, and it's going to talk a little bit more about this very thing and how important that it is to know. Here we go. So just hold on for a minute. We play it. Hey, look at that. We give props to a beautiful lady that was working with other black folks behind the scene at that office. What's something? Isn't that something, Sharon?
And not only that,
Another
she
one.
also created Bethune-Cookman College.
Exactly. We've been down to Bethune.
Got her
College.
name
Went down there
on
too
it.
anyway. haven't we?
Yes, yes.
Saw that. So this sister started off in pure what, slavery, even at that, yet with hardly no kinds of means that we have, fast cars, phones, what's other things that we TV, all those kind of things that we use now, taken for granted.
Brand new.
She had influence and tenacity and had wisdom and had strategy to be able to hook people together, make them come together and work on things behind the scene and not worry about, I got to be up front and got to be seen. By the way, Elon Musk is not in the background, so I don't know where they got that from whatsoever.
Yes.
Really,
anyway.
Stop that stuff. But hey, think about it. It reminds me of that book we saw one time. I read one time called The Spook at the Back Door.
The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Sat by the door. Well, you know what? There was a group that sat at the door. I'm wondering, do we have those in the place right now in the White House who are working in the background to straighten this fool up? To straighten people up and make sure that they, take care of those who look like them and look like us. That is one of the things I wanted to start off and talk about when it comes to complementary and the area relationship from a woman's point of view, because we need y'all. We need y'all. I don't care how hard-headed as a brothers talk. I don't care how much we think we're together. I mean, I'm thinking about when we were at the ball, Mr. Julius came up to me and told my wife and why I'm sitting there too at the same time. Hey, what do you say?
Next year we're gonna do an award for you for putting up with him.
I wanted to say, get out of here, man. You got your own table. But instead we said to him, hey, there was what?
We put up with each other.
Exactly. If you're in a balanced, healthy relationship, you put up with things on both sides, because nobody's perfect in the first place. Okay.
Exactly.
Some may have a little more hot buttons than the other, but no one's perfect in the first place. Being complement to one another is what we really should be striving to do. And there's no doubt about it. This sister knew how to do what? Things in a complimentary way. There's no way she could not have operated in a complimentary way in order for them to operate the way they did.
Yes, exactly. And what this also did not speak about was the fact that she was also in league with A. Philip Randolph.
Yes, you're right about that.
And they worked together to get some things done also. Yes.
Yeah. So let's look at some of the things that have to do with being complement to one another, which we talked a little bit before, that beautiful couple that we had on our show
last week.
Tell me, Sharon, what are some things that you know as a woman that has pushed you to be, okay, I shouldn't use that word I'm using anyway, has pushed you to be complimentary in the relationship? By you first, if you don't mind. Lovely lady, since it is Women's Week. Actually, it starts on the 8th. It's called International Women's Day. It starts on the 8th, to be honest with you. Give a little bit of definition. Oh, I can. What does compliment really mean? Because someone gave a definition before and they thought it was something else. Let's do that again. What does compliment really mean?
To have a mate that complements you in a balanced, healthy relationship means to bring qualities, strengths, and perspectives that harmonize with yours rather than mirror them exactly.
Okay, say that again.
They harmonize rather than mirror.
I think a lot of times that's what we think relationships should do when it comes to the ideal.
Yes.
The ideal is you better think like I do.
Yes.
You better speak like I do. Sometimes you maybe better look like I do. I hope it does not smell like I do. But anyway, hey, okay, let me do that like this. Let's go.
Make sure.
Oh, yay to that one. It should be like this.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Make sure you make sure that everything is the same. That we don't have any conflicts because we think the same. We act the same. We believe the same. And how unrealistic is that really when you did not grow up the same? I had 2 children, grew up in the same house, same parents, same everything, totally different. Their ideology and everything. So how is it that 2 people who come together to form a relationship after they have already had those aspects of themselves formed, how are they expected to be perfectly mirror
impossible
of each other?
Impossible.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
There's some times like that when you definitely want to do things to make sure it's the same.
Yeah, but you gotta look at what's behind that, because far too often people start relationships.
Well, hold on, there is some beauty from behind that. Okay, never. I'm sorry. I didn't read that. Sorry, folks. I forgot this is a family-friendly channel. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, what I was saying was you have to look at what is the draw behind that too, because sometimes we start off relationships instead of the friendship with the lustship.
Yes. We are still talking about 5 steps of communication too, but this day, compliment, and we're talking about how women will have complimented from our mothers-in-law when it comes to us men, and in turn us people as beings, actually, to be honest with you, and how this is a celebration time. But if we don't start looking at that compliment and stop moving away from, you got to be exactly like me, you have to talk exactly like me, and that's not just
something is wrong with you if you don't.
Exactly. And I'm not, and I'll be honest with you, in my experience, my story, many times it's been the women in my life who give the perception that if you're going to be with me, you got to be the way I want you to be. And that way I want you to be is exactly what I imagine what a man should be. And it maybe have nothing to do with you at all, which is still another form of, I want you to be exactly a mirror. That mirror is what I imagine. Yeah. And therefore, what I imagine, you need to be that particular way. Otherwise, we can't get along. And that's just ridiculous, because we know in return many times that women would want you to treat the same way, them that same way. And many times they would say in so many words, if you even lean to the sport or lean to the left or to the right, that you're like every other woman I dated or every other woman, that really would send things tangent into another direction, upsetting. So no, we should not do that with one another, right?
Right. And one of the things that cause that is very, a big part of that is, for whatever reason, people get into relationships with the attitude that they have to fix somebody.
Yes.
That they have to change them, that they have to make them better. They have to make them whole. But
there's nothing wrong with that too.
Well, sometimes no. Sometimes there is help and direction that is needed. But what I'm saying is,
all the time we should be prepared to in turn be able to expand. Remember those couple talked about last time?
Yes.
Change is expanding is changing. And if you go into a relationship thinking that there should be nothing that should change about your relationship, you will never in turn be comfortable in a balanced, healthy relationship, because then you in turn are stubborn and sticking on what and who you are and how you always want to be. That can't be exactly how it would happen if, and you understand with what? Compliment. That means you want someone to be the same exactly like you. That's impossible. So for you to grow in that relationship, both of you will need to be able to compliment with one another. Yeah. And when you compliment with one another, as we talked about before, you create another us.
Exactly.
And another us. Nothing should change when your relationship. That kind of stubbornness has really made relationships who are in turn like that way, one-sided and codependent. And moving, changing, expanding, it's called growing. It's always the best thing to do in a relationship.
And that was not what I was saying. What I was saying is, some people come into it with the idea that they want to change somebody, not necessarily for what is helping this person grow into a better being, but to change them so it's more comfortable for them.
Well, that's the pretty much what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I think what needs to be said is when you flip the script, or actually turn it like on DJ, reverse it. It is to be open when I come into a relationship that I am prepared to what? Change.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Instead of You know, and
Let's go.
Let's go.
and I have heard, you know, going back to what you said about women, you know, making that an issue. I have heard a lot of women say, "Oh yeah, he didn't dress right when I met him, and I made him change and dress right." Well, maybe he was comfortable the way he was dressing. Maybe there was nothing wrong with the way he was dressing, but it was comfortable for you to have him dress another way. It's not to say that he was uncomfortable when you changed his style, but maybe he was.
Well, on that note, since you're bringing that up, because we want to break stereotypes too, and understand that many men I have talked to in relationship to women have given the perception that they were either told or forced or made, or give the feeling at least that in order for them to be in this relationship or stay in the relationship, they must change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah, I do.
And there's not that other availability that says, well, on the other side, will my woman involved that I'm connected to change?
Yeah.
And usually it's a no, you need to change at the expense of me not changing. Well, that's a codependent mindset. And there's nothing
and it goes both
about
ways
that at all.
It definitely goes both ways, because there are a lot of men that have all these stipulations on what a woman needs to do, how she needs to dress, what she needs to say, you know, how she needs to carry herself and things of that sort, and will push the issue until that is done. So that goes both ways when, as you say, both need to change.
I think
so there needs to be a shift on both sides.
I think it should actually be a quantum shift or a spiritual shift inside your very soul. Understanding that you as a human are also a spiritual being. And as a spiritual being, so is that other person who's a female, who's a spiritual being, though she may have a female energy, female spirit, female energy. I said the first time, so again, or so female light. So do you. But yet at the same time, both of them, we still operate under the Ubuntu principle. I am because of who you are.
Yes.
You are because of who I am. And with that, that's a good thought, since we're celebrating Women's Month, or I think it's
International
National
Women's
Day. Imagine Mrs. Cookman. If you thought she
Bethune.
Bethune.
Yeah, Mary McLeod Bethune.
Thank you. If you thought, let me ask you, do you think that she was a woman who basically was stuck in her ways and in turn wanted everything just to go her way, and in turn that's just how it was? Do you think she used any complementary strategies, any complementary ways to connect with those folks who basically were with her when it came to dealing with the behind the scenes of the government to get things done for us, do you think?
Yeah. I don't think she was, I don't think she was one of those people that you could say was stuck in her ways.
Oh, no.
She was one of those people that had a view of the bigger picture.
Yes.
And because she had a view of the bigger picture, she was able to get other people, not to change them, but she went out and found people who were complementary to her vision.
But to do what? You're missing a point.
To make the changes that were necessary.
Let's use the word that we talked about last, and just to help you out too at the same time, because you did it a lot, and you do it a lot being a Black woman in your life with your kids. And of course, you still try to do that with me. Sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not, only when we battle with one another, missing the understanding. The couple yesterday who worked, the last Thursday, who work in that area, the partner dealing with, the bridge, dealing with the urban community of Savannah, who basically are complement to one another, where he's a little bit more quiet, she's a little bit more talkative. Kind of mixed the roles with us. But anyway, she admitted that her changing or not changing, what she did admit is that she did do things to change him. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
And he admitted it too. But when we talked a little bit and looked at it in detail, her change was really from the standpoint that she helped him expand with knowledge. He went from driving a truck to that actually teaching CDL. Well, that is a change.
Yes.
But it's a change that's called expanding, more knowledge, growth. So that's the kind of changes we're talking about. That complementary people and relationships. They are going to be all about changing, not only changing for themselves, but changing others too. And it's not an uncomfortable situation, especially in a balanced situation. I mean, balanced relationship. What do you think about that?
I agree with that, because, and I think that's one of the things that was what I was trying to get at earlier, when I was talking about, women having this idea of I'm changing, and men and women going into relationships with the attitude, which sounds to me like you're not exactly what I want, but I'll create you into what I want you to be one way or the other. Instead of doing that, you look at this person where they are and you look at helping them grow.
Yes.
And as you help them grow, you could possibly also be helping yourself grow.
Well, you usually should.
Yes.
You usually
Yes.
should. Yes.
And so, that is that grow together, accentuate, what is there on both ends so that you complement each other.
Those perspectives bring strength, harmony. Okay. Harmony.
Yes.
Okay. And they not mirror each other, because mirror makes stagnant. You don't grow much.
Exactly.
It's just still the same whatsoever. But it's about creating synergy.
Mm-hmm.
Synergy, that old mathematics kind of concept in math. If you like math, if you stayed a little bit awake during that time of math or chemistry, which has to do with that mathematical equation, 1 + 1 can equal 3, 4, 5, and 6, and more.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about in expanding and growth in that relationship. It also brings stability. I can imagine working with that sister, how stable she made those other men and women, especially some of those men who were probably alpha men, beta men, whatever they call that. And yet at the same time, with their strength and their steadfastness, married, and at the same time having their entrenchedness in businesses in their own communities, they still listen to her.
Yeah.
They still connected to her. So she had that ability to be able to use that complementary way of wanting to see them grow, wanting to help them grow with that bigger picture vision that they all move together under her guide, right? Under the guide, but not thinking at the same time that I'm less than. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, and that is what we do. That's how we help people to grow. And and please don't think I'm saying that men can't do this, but women are in a position to do it.
Saying men can't.
Oh, men definitely can, but women find themselves in a position to do it a lot more because they're raising children. They're closer to raising the children most of the time. But
that's not a stereotype anymore.
No,
There's a lot of young men, especially, who are taking care.
Absolutely,
of the children, so.
that is now. But what we're talking about is in the how it worked in the past leading up to now. But a lot of those males that now have the ability, the young men that have the ability to raise their children and be that hands-on, positive hands-on dad, they got it because that's how they were nurtured.
Yes.
That's how they were raised by that mother who showed them that way. Did she change them? No, she nurtured them into expanding. And so now they're able to expand more also. Same with females. That mother nurtured them into expansion. I know mine sure did. And that makes a difference in how you deal with other people.
Yeah, I think a lot of young men out who had bad experiences with their mothers in their life have had a very twisted, or what's the word I want to use? Skewed concept of a mother. And a lot of us have came under mothers, I'll say like mine, who was very strong-willed, very had a lot of male energy. What she wanted you to do, wasn't about to change for nothing, but definitely wanted you to change for her. And you got out of that thinking that that's what all Black females are like. And therefore, in turn, you grew a resistance, you grew a apathy, you grew uncomfortableness. I'm thinking that if I in turn are interfacing with them, they're never going to treat me like a human being. They're never going to treat me in such a way that in turn will bring kindness and love and bring that kind of compliment of expansion to help you grow as another human being, or even as a male, as a man. And therefore that kind of stereotype, because you even see stereotypes out there, angry Black woman, big mama, other examples were showing Black females like that, which is really a shame. That skews how you want to relate with them, and makes it hard for you to even want to think about having a balanced relationship with a Black woman. And I think that's wrong. The celebration of our Black women in the world, like in this case, Bethune-Cookman, if you look in detail, there's no doubt about it. They had to be more complimentary. They had to be more of a relationship with them that allow people to be expand, especially men, to feel good enough that women around them, I can span and I can do more than what I did before. I got to do this for that. That deserves a second.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, as we move into this other attitude, it has a lot to do with women who understand that you don't want to oppress a man, but you want to allow him to blossom because that's what you want. You don't want a man to oppress you. You want him to help you to blossom. And so, that's that negative stereotype that if you're in a relationship, somebody has to be dominant and somebody has to be submissive. And those are negative stereotypes.
It is.
There's not one person that has to be dominant, one person that has to be submissive all the time. There are situations where, in order to complement, you have to know when to encourage that person to be more than what they have been, or to show more than what they have shown, or to scale it back a little bit.
Or because you hopefully are not dealing with each other, because you also are working in the community, dealing with your children on the job. So there's other people you're dealing with. Then you may have to both, if you're both are dealing together or separate, but you're still dealing with other people, you both might have to be dominant in the situation to hold up what's needed to be taken care of, where both of you guys are on the same side when it comes to a problem. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where both have each other's back.
Exactly.
Or you both may have to be submissive when it comes to a situation. You can take a mini situation with your children, maybe. There has to maybe be some time that you both need to be submissive, to your children, both together, instead of one being hard and the other one being soft.
Exactly.
So we're not just talking about with one another, even though both of us need to think about being submissive to one another and sometimes very dominant in certain areas with one another. We'll have to remember that we deal with people too, because we're talking about relationships that are beyond just us. We don't just stay in the house looking at each other. Well, not as if, that is. And that's about it. So therefore, there's other people that we deal with, and we may have to take on that role of dominant or being submissive to. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think part of it has to do with the terms, the terminology. The semantics is everything. And over time, the words dominant and submissive have latched on to such negative connotations that we probably need to express them in a different way.
It's not going to. I mean, we live in this political climate that ups the ante when it comes to a relationship with people in a business kind of way, or a more of a sporty, competitive way, where it's winner or a loser. But you're a winner or you're a loser.
But in your relationship, you don't have to conform to that.
No, you should not.
You can change the terminology within your relationship to what works for you.
Yes.
You can make that something that, I'm not going to be dominant in this situation, but I am going to make sure you understand how I feel, so that I can listen and understand how you feel.
Exactly.
That's not being dominant. That is being pliable.
Okay. Hey, talk about being pliable, not being dominant. I'm going to be submissive to the fact that we need to move to a what?
A break.
I can't call it what I was getting ready to call it. So we're going to go to a break, give you a couple of them, and then we'll be right back.
Hello, world. We're here, serving Savannah, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Brooklyn, Houston, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and the world. The best music all the time. The greatest songs ever made, every time. Tune in to Hot 2100 Savannah and get a taste for your ears. Hot 2100 Savannah, serving Savannah and the world.
When it comes to the city, I'm the key. Gotta go to court in the morning for a plea. What you gotta pay to get, I hit that for free. And when I'm in the streets, yeah, I gotta tote that heat. It's hard for you to touch it, cause I stay up out of reach. Talking about ends dirty, I'ma make a meet. I've been down too long, I'd be damn if I don't eat. If you want someone to try, I'd be damn if it's me. I see why you mad, you ain't swaggin' like this.
And we are back.
We are back. Yes.
So we are taking the journey together,
Mm-hmm.
and Mind at Rest Couples Coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, we are taking the journey, but we were missing from the Hot 21.
Did you notice that on the Hot
Um,
21 commercial? We saw everywhere up there, even that newbie that intern used to be on our show. Oh, my goodness.
So-
We didn't even see our face on there.
Nope.
I wonder if they're getting rid of our show, but they're not saying anything. If they are folks who love our show, we want to make sure that you say something to Mr. Julius. And Julius, we want this good information passed on to the radio
Yes.
station so they can hear the same thing too.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. Got to have a good balanced relationship, whether you're on the radio station, whether you're at home, whether you're walking, talking, or wherever you go. You got to make sure you have a balanced relationship,
Exactly.
especially today. Can't be no half stepper.
No half step.
We got enough ratchet stuff going on
Yeah.
right now, as folks say, young folks say.
And at this point in time, we
Mhm.
really need to make sure that our relationships are tightened up, that our
Mhm.
relationships are being triaged regularly.
Yes.
You know,
yes. We're in a
and-
war out here.
and
Come on
that's-
now.
And you know, and here's the thing, the war didn't just start.
No. it's
The
been going on,
relationship-
especially the black community.
The relationship war started about 30 years ago. And at this point, the casualties are
Oh, my
just
goodness.
astronomical.
It is.
And the casualties are trickling down, so that there are new casualties that are hodgepodging relationships together with no kind of guidance or anything.
Exactly. I remember, not to cut you up, but I remember our guest that came on, Milani, talked about when we were referring to balanced relationships. She was saying in that group 35 and other words, she is pretty much, she said, that even going on. They're
Yeah.
just running ragged, and long-term relationships, they don't even know how to keep them whatsoever. And they're playing everything from here. All they're doing is mostly having situationships,
Yes.
not relationships. How is that going to work in the long run? How is it going to build a nation? How is it going to build our community when right now we have to build more than just our villages, which are important, but we're going to have to rebuild, go back and do what they have did before in order for us to establish, because of the fact the way this particular economy, the way this particular administration is going, they don't want us to be seen and be part of the economy, and no more than just a consumer, even at that. But if we're going to be producers, if we're going to then try to do the Marcus Garvey approach, if you may want to say, because that's kind of pushing our way, and we have to work with one another. Buying things comes to material things ain't going to work. We already know, folks, old or young, money don't buy love. It don't buy love. It don't buy happiness. It don't buy graciousness. It doesn't buy compliments. It doesn't buy what needs to really have you feel good of being with somebody else, especially in the long run. It ain't going to work then. It ain't going to ever work in the long run. That's one thing for sure. What you think?
Yeah, that's true. And, when you were talking about people having situationships in the 35 and younger age group, it's even worse for the ones that are just really starting relationships. They have no idea, for the most part, how to build and bind these relationships. I was listening to part of a conversation today where, the 35 and younger generation, we call them the microwave, microwave generation. If you, if it's not going right, you got a short period of time to fix it.
Yeah.
It's even worse now. I heard this young man say today that this girl said to him, "You don't have time for me." So I blocked her. He blocked her on his phone. He blocked her on TikTok. He blocked her on Instagram. He blocked her on everything because she said, "I don't have time for her, so I don't have time for her." Instead of talking to her and say, "You know what, I want to," and somebody else said, "Did you not like her?" He said, "Yeah, I liked her," but he blocked her. And there's no communication, no talking about, "You know what, I want to spend time with you, but I'm in school and I'm working and I have sports. And by the time I get home, it's like 11 o'clock. I mean, he explained all that to the people the people in the classroom that he was talking to.
And that's a millennium. Oh, that's not millennium. What group is that? The 10th grader?
No, senior.
Senior. That's the millennium. That's not the millennium?
I don't know. I can't keep up with that.
That is the next group after the next group that's coming in. And they are just that short attention spanned, as you just got through saying, with individuals. And look at individuals the same way we do what? Material things. Throwaway. Have no long lasting value to them at all. And the same way we think about people, no long lasting value if they are not making me feel happy, if they are not staying within my framework of comfort. You got to go.
Yes, but a lot of these people are also people who have grown up in divorce. Who have grown up in multiple divorces. I got one student who has 2 stepmoms and a stepdad. And I'm like, this is crazy. So he knows nothing about working together in a relationship. Yet these are people who are getting ready to go out and start relationships. And they have no idea of how to make it work because all of their examples didn't work.
On top of that, I've talked to some folks who are managers and owners of jobs, and they're saying these young people have no commitment and no loyalty on the job. They come on the job, they don't really want to work.
Right.
They figure
but they want to get paid.
Exactly. You tell them what you're supposed to do under the guise of that relationship. I'm the boss. I run the company, and I'm not telling you anything that's outside of order that anybody else hasn't done. But at that, I don't want to do it. I don't feel I need to do it. And they're not even keeping them along on the job because of that kind of attitude that basically says, I just want to get paid, but I don't want to go through the burden, the trouble, the wisdom, or the work in order for me to be able to earn this particular thing called money. I think that's the same thing we're seeing in a relationship. I don't want to do any other thing to earn what? This thing called love.
Right.
I would say to you, many of us, even myself, coming out of our relationships, single parent families, many times, of the addressedness of the problems that we've had growing up, many times we just are a reflection of our relationship. No one really cared about me. He didn't care about me. My mom didn't care about me. My dad didn't care about me. So why should I really care about anyone else? And then go out of my way, try to even act like it's going to work because I got right off the bat from my own experience. It's not going to work.
Yes.
But we just still got to move on in life and get paid.
And selfishly, they're in relationship because they have needs to be met.
Yeah.
And no one has indicated that there's more to it than that. It's all on the basal level. You don't have to talk. You don't have to have any communication. You don't have to compliment anybody. You don't have to, understand your strengths and your weaknesses and
You don't
what you're
take all that.
bringing
That's why I
to
come
the
on.
relationship.
That's why I come on.
Yeah.
You don't take all that.
Yeah, you just fall into it, and it lasts as long as it lasts, and then you just move
keep
on.
moving on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't work for anything.
In our community, we cannot afford to have that continue on and on and on.
Right.
We cannot in our community, especially what's going down the next 4 years. We have to, in turn, get on track as we were trying to do before. Gather our community together and move in such a way where we work with synchronicity. We work under the Ubuntu principle, but we basically try to work together and build together. And it first starts in our relationships, right?
Exactly. And you talk about 4 years, but 4 years is just the tip of the iceberg, because no matter what happens in those 4 years, it's going to take another 4, 8, 10, 12 years to get things
back on track to where it was to
exactly,
start with that we were trying to do
because
from back.
There's that fallout
then.
that still has to be taken care of.
You got to remember, we're not like us. What was it?
They're not like
They're not
we're
like
not like
us.
them, or
We
they're not
were
like
in the
us.
process of trying to bring and look for stability in our communities because of what slavery did. We were in the process of trying to look at relationships, say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. Hey, soul sister, hey, soul sister. We were about trying to build in more friendship in our relationships, in our communities. More camaraderie, more complementary to one another. And then the outside environment came in and said, no, we don't want that. As it did many a times, and said, I'm going to break up that union. I'm going to break up that
positivity.
That positivity, because I know that it can build communities. I know that it can build you can build a race. You can build a race.
Yes.
And I don't want to see that happen as it was tried before. So it's really sad that our young folks seem to, in turn, be asphyxiated on, it don't make no difference whatsoever. So we'll go whatever direction that's out there. And that's really sad.
It's all about being, for lack of a better term, the lone wolf in the middle of the pack. They don't want to be all by themselves, but they want to do things their way and only their way.
And the lone wolf does not hang out by itself. Lone wolves hang with packs. The lone one is the one, which I need to let you know, a lot of people don't know. A lone wolf is usually referring to a leader wolf. And a leader wolf, a lone wolf, does not really hang out in front of the pack and hangs out in the back of the pack because it's looking to make sure it protects any danger that comes towards the pack. Okay. So how lone are you from that end? Where you're looking out for your family, you're looking out for your children, you're looking out for your job, you're looking out for, how about your own integrity and principle, who you are? Are you doing that? You're looking out for your community? Your idea maybe is no way understanding what I just said, and all you're doing is looking out for yourself, and you're basically really all alone. And you can't do that. It's not going to work when you're alone. You are connected. You are to be with others. You are to have a good relationship. You are to have a good mate. You are to be able to create and build in this world. Their heaven is a right to have right here on this earth right now as you create it. So as you think it, so it can be. And so you have that possibility and that right, being able to do that with yourself or with others that you connect with, as it should be that way, right? That's a balance and strength and weakness. But we're talking about a balance that we spoke of. That's part of the key aspects of complementary relationships, is it not?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, it's one of those situations where you need to really look at yourself and your partner and see what you are both bringing to the table. And that's one of the things that we focus on when we do our couples coaching. We do that through questions and answers. We've
got a new one now, and we just know our new one is going to be again called a boot camp. We got a new one called a boot camp. We've got too many people that we talk to and too many things that we see cropping up where relationships who up front we might give them perception we got it together, but we know behind the doors your backstory ain't really happening that way. It's all a facade. You're just being hypocritical. And in turn, I know that's a thing, because if we got somebody in office who's hypocritical as can be, and in turn you figure that that's the same way that you can be in life. No, you can't. No, I didn't say you can't. No, you don't have to be, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. So we are putting together a relationship boot camp. We want you to come to our relationship boot camp. We'll be giving you some good news real soon. We have the place and find the place, and it's going to be for one day, and it's going to be long. It'll be from 10, I think it is, to about 3 o'clock. But you're going to learn some 4, excuse me. But you're going to learn some good information from me and her and both of us that's going to help you out with that relationship. And when you leave, you're going to have your fatigues on. You're going to have your cap straight. You're going to have yourself and your relationship straight together. And both of you are going to walk away, and you're going to, how can I say it, just change the world and make sure no enemies around is going to mess with your thing and who you are and what you're doing, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So where can they find us?
Okay, well, let me,
because we're running out of time.
Oh man, I did not see that. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, go ahead while you talk a little bit more.
Okay.
Putting this up.
Well, we also are doing a radio show. So, but first of all, we'll talk about where you can find us. So if you need to get in touch with us, we're at takingthejurneytogether@gmail.com, or you can call us at 786-763-1324. That is Taking the Journey Together, just like it says, at gmail.com. The telephone number is 786-763-1324.
1324. What's some other times they can see us?
Well, they can contact us. They can catch us on Facebook at TTJ Together, on Instagram at Taking the J Together.
Taking the J Together.
And also on Saturday mornings, they can catch us on WRUU 107.5 from 9 to 10 a.m. That's...
Oh, I didn't even hear it. You know what? It wasn't even connected.
Yet.
I'll be on. No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know how many times it wasn't connected. They didn't hear it. Did you hear it like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, they heard it now. I think that was not connected well, but go ahead.
Yeah, so once again, Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 on WRUU 107.5 in Savannah.
Right in Savannah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to put that one up there. Okay, so we're about coming to the end of the show. Anything you want to say on happy International Women's Day? And thank you for being in my life, and thank you for both of us moving forward on trying to make sure that others understand that relating to one another in a balanced way takes work.
Yes.
Thank you for working with me. I'm doing this. I know this is something that was the first time meeting me was new to you. And just like right now, even in America, in many places, it's a practice.
Yes.
It is a practice. It's not a done deal, because any such thing is perfect. So we are practicing it, but it takes work to practice it, right?
And make sure you compliment the person that you're with. Complimenting is about helping them to grow and stay positive.
Yeah.
Be the compliment.